OBS.
What?
Virtual camera. You gotta start virtual camera, yo.
That would help. There we
There
go.
we go. And welcome to another exciting edition of the iTech Show. I am Jared Bodine.
I'm Asher Ridenour.
And here we are once again. Lots of exciting stuff going on in the world of tech. But the biggest thing right now is it's so freaking hot.
Yeah, it's way too hot.
Oh my gosh.
What is it right now?
It's like 112 out there.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's insane.
And you and me both drive darker cars.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody who wasn't from Arizona. I can't remember where. They were from somewhere East Coast.
Like colder?
Yeah. And they asked me, they said, "What is the story with all the white cars here?" He's like, "There's so many more white cars in Arizona than like normal." And I was like, "Well, that's because you don't live here. You don't get it."
Oh, yeah, no,
Right?
I actually, for my new car, I might go white,
Yeah.
but I
See,
don't like how white looks.
I don't either. I like the color car thing. White's kind of bland and boring.
Yeah.
Although if you do like the right kind of mix with white and black, like some of these like for example, Teslas, they have sort of an Oreo thing going on, with the black door handles and then the white finish and then kind of like the white and black like two-tone interiors. Those look pretty good if you do it right.
All right. I still would
Yeah.
prefer like the gray that you have.
Yeah, I like it too.
The gray is nice.
I do like it,
The
but
downside is it's 20 degrees hotter anywhere.
and that's taking a major impact on my battery.
Yeah, it is.
Because normally I don't charge my car every night.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for the battery to constantly charge when you're still over 50%. And I was last night.
I was gonna say, don't you want to discharge it down to like 20 and then 66 is like the
No, 80.
Is it 80?
80% is the high.
I thought it was what's like the transport battery level?
Oh, well, yeah. If you're gonna store it for long
Yeah, it's
term,
like
you want to be
66, right?
between 50 and 60.
Yeah.
And if you get a brand new electronic device, have you ever noticed
It's like
it
always in
tells
the
you to
60s.
charge it before you use it, but if you're impatient or sometimes if you plug a device in, it wakes it up and it boots up, you'll notice that the battery percentage is usually hovering around 50%.
Because that's like the healthiest for it, right?
Yeah, it's a good like neutral state pretty much.
I wonder, well, like it has happened before, but if you have a battery on complete dead,
Yeah, it's not good.
like it kills it, right?
It can make it hard for it to bounce back and recharge.
Yeah.
Like we've had people at our work who have forgotten that the lift gate on the truck uses a lot of battery. And if the engine's not running, then we've had dead batteries before. And usually happens with new drivers.
Is it a standard car battery?
Well, they're more heavy duty because it's on a box truck with a lift gate.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right, but we've had that happen where they just it's just 1 or 2 lifts, but then the battery's dead. And I'm like, well, clearly it was more than that.
How do you even like kick that back? Like, how do you jump it?
So you have to have a powerful enough jump starter. Like we have a battery, like a heavier duty,
the carry around runs,
like
right?
a battery pack one, or you can hook it up to another vehicle, but it needs to be like a truck.
I was gonna say, like, it's a truck and you're sitting there for a minute too.
Yeah, no, I mean if you hook it up to like a little like Honda
Prius,
Civic.
Yeah,
Honda Civics ain't gonna give you enough juice to start up that bad boy.
If you left the Civic there for an hour,
yeah, it'll trickle charge. But the thing that I've noticed too is those batteries are even more susceptible to not bouncing back well. So once we have a truck battery die, there's a good chance it'll die again, even easier. So we have to be really cautious. And unfortunately, we've had to replace batteries more than I wanted to.
And I'm
for that reason.
assuming those are more expensive.
And they're more expensive. Batteries are a nightmare of a problem.
In Arizona specifically too.
Actually, in the whole e-waste industry, because I'm sure I've mentioned this once or twice before, but I don't know who's listening today. My day job, I'm with AZ Strut, Arizona Students Recycling Use Technology, and we do a lot of e-waste collection because electronics are more and more portable today. So we have to deal with the battery aspect. Laptops, cell phones, tablets, they're all battery based. And yeah, we still get the occasional desktop, but most people don't even know this. There's a battery in your desktop.
The CR 2032.
Wow, I'm impressed that
I
you
know,
knew
right?
that. Clearly, you had a good teacher.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because so why is there a battery in a desktop that you literally cannot run on battery?
Well, yeah, and you'll see it a lot on laptops too. or
Well,
there's the two-parters.
laptops will have that, but
The CMOS battery.
yeah, you wanna explain what the whole deal with that
Do
is?
you remember what CMOS stands for? Because I do not. It's like
Yeah. No, no,
configuration,
no, no,
is it
no.
not?
It's like a carbon silicon oxide diode or something like that.
What? I thought
Uh,
CMOS was relating to the purpose of the chip.
no, CMOS is the kind of chip it is.
What? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically what it does is it stores, like, settings.
Complementary something oxide. Anyway, it's not important that you know that. I
No,
just because
but
I'm
it is a cool thing.
but it's fun to know if you want to, but it's not really important.
No, the CMOS
Anyway, go ahead.
chip, which is powered by the CMOS battery,
Uh-huh.
is a chip that is kinda like RAM, where it's volatile if it turns off, and it stores settings for your BIOS. So, like, or UEFI. So if you change something there,
What is a BIOS or UEFI?
it's
Gotta slow down.
okay. So that's also a chip on the motherboard that does things like checks that your computer will turn on, like
Okay.
that you have all the necessary components, which is
Yeah.
a process called post. It also does boot order, so if you have a flash drive plugged in and Windows installed on the computer, which one comes first?
Mhm.
It also does a lot of there's usually a lot of settings in there for, like,
Yeah.
overclocking or messing around with your CPU or disabling things, like, if you're trying to harden your computer to, like, make it more secure,
Yeah.
a lot of times what companies will do is turn off USB ports that aren't being
Mhm.
used or
Yeah.
turn off Ethernet ports.
Yeah.
But all that's done through BIOS, and that BIOS settings are stored on your BIOS, like the CMOS, and that
Mhm.
CMOS is powered by the CMOS battery, which is a little watch battery, basically.
Complementary metal some complementary silicon metal oxide?
That didn't
Some
even smell out.
something like that.
Isn't it CMOS?
Yeah, complementary metal silicon oxide. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I
CMOS.
could Google it and have that answered like 10 minutes ago, but that's too hard
Where's
for
the fun
me.
in that?
No, exactly. But yeah, so what I tell people is when they look at it, I'll be like, well, it looks like a watch battery because in essence, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little coin battery. It's literally the same kind you'll see in a lot of smaller home theater remote control type things, like some of the Logitech remotes will use them, or like the small like personal DVD, like the card style remotes that you'll see. And it's a very common one. It's used in like little tiny LED flashlights that you might get or whatever. But it keeps the time.
Yeah,
So
it does time too.
yeah, because your motherboard keeps track of time even if you unplug it. And if you think about it, if you unplugged your desktop and plugged it back in, how would the time still be right if there was no power to keep the time right?
Yeah.
So, among other things, it keeps the system time on. Now, people obviously are like, well, if I plug in my computer, then when it gets on the internet, it'll get the time again. Yes, but it has to wait till it synchronizes with the internet before it
Also
can do that.
yeah. Also, time is a big thing when it comes to computers in
Hmm.
general, especially the cybersecurity side of things.
Oh, yeah, huge.
'Cause, like, if you ever can't get on a browser for whatever reason, even though your minutes might be right, if you're, like, 2 seconds off, it'll
Yeah.
deny you access to any browser.
So I had a few issues with this in the real world, and that's kind of why I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the CMOS thing. Because so like I've had customers call me up and say my computer won't work, it's totally broken. I get this black and white
Yep.
screen with an error message, and it says time and date or something, and I don't know what's going on. And I look at it like it says push F1 to continue. If you push F1, you're fine, but it still freaks people out, and they don't know what to do. And all it is their CMOS battery is probably what usually that indicates is that little CMOS battery is dead. So their computer at some point lost power since that little battery on your desktop was no longer good or your laptop or whatever. Then the date and time got reset to factory defaults, which is probably like 2016 or some past
Yeah.
year. And so when your computer powers on, it says, well, that's not the correct date and time. So it's a little error message to warn you. Yes, you have to open up your computer to fix that problem permanently. You got to swap it out. But these CR2032s, which is the code name, like, AA batteries, AAA batteries,
That's just
this battery is called a CR2032. That's just the name of the battery type. But, if you pull it out and take it to a batteries plus or whatever, they'll help you find it. It's a standard
you can
battery.
find them. I've found them at Safeway, Ace
Anywhere,
Hardware,
anywhere.
Home Depot, literally
Yeah. I
anywhere.
mean, Amazon
Oh,
too.
Amazon has tons of them.
Yeah.
Although, if you buy them from Amazon,
You never know.
expect, like, 6 months down the line
Yeah,
to get
well,
one of those, like, recall ordered on this item. Have you ever seen those?
actually, that wasn't Amazon's fault. That had nothing to do with
No,
Amazon. But
it's
do you know what happened?
I'm assuming it's the regulations on, like, the taste, right?
No, kind of.
I've had them get recalled for that.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny because we have a lot of computers that are donated at AZ Strut, and we refurbish a lot. And sometimes because they're older, we get things like bad CMOS batteries. And so every time it would turn on, it give you that error message. It just you need to reset. It's not a big deal. Just put a new battery in there, set the time, you're good to go. But we'll spend some money because we can't send a computer out to someone in need in that condition. It's gonna freak them out. Like, I just got this computer donated to me and then it's all broke. It's nothing wrong with it. I mean, and sometimes it happens after we give it out because the batteries just die when they die.
Yeah,
You
they're
never know. But we do carry a few of those batteries and we'll put them in from time to time. And we got a recall on a shipment of batteries. And of course, that was like 6 months after. And do you
yeah,
know how many computers AZ Strut donates a year?
probably quite a few. Yeah, I
Thousands.
was gonna say.
I think we did over 6,000 last year.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a lot
Yeah.
because you guys donate to schools and stuff
Right.
too,
And
so
it's statewide.
yeah.
So it's not like we could go track down all 6,000 computers and every person who got one. And not all of them needed it. And it's not like we have detailed notes on every serial number. We don't have contact information for every person we've given a computer to and which one's got which CMOS batteries. Like, we don't have that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
No
bad.
one really has that level. But I was like, well, let's look into it and see because maybe we have to track down some if this is a real problem. And I found out that the reason for the recall was not the battery itself. The battery was 100% safe.
It's the coating, right?
No, it wasn't that either.
What?
It was the packaging.
Oh, okay, I've seen that too.
So I looked into it, and there was a law that passed about, at this point, probably 3 months ago or so. I can't remember the name. It was named after an individual like Morgan. I'm making that name up. It was like Morgan's Law or something. And it was because the packaging did not do a good enough job dissuading toddlers from eating them,
Yeah, so
which is connected to the other thing you were talking about.
yeah, because I had one recalled, like, literally a year later,
Mm.
and it was because on each one of those CR2032s, since they're small enough to fit down like a kid can swallow it.
Yeah, they're choking hazards.
Yeah, so what they do is they coat them in, like, super bitter, like, I don't know, a coating.
Yeah, so it doesn't taste as, appealing. Yeah.
I didn't think it looked appealing either, but
No, it doesn't.
and you think you'd feel something in your mouth. I mean, it's only 3
Yeah.
volts, but your mouth is like
It's DC. It's 3 volts DC, you'd never feel it.
you don't think so?
No. No,
Not at all?
not at all.
Like, you
Put one
gotta
in your mouth right now.
I don't have one on me, and
How
also, I'm
convenient.
good.
You ever put a double A battery in your mouth?
No.
What's
Have you?
Who hasn't?
What do you why have you done that?
Okay, but we've all licked the contacts of a 9-volt square battery.
No.
You've never licked a 9-volt battery?
I've put tinfoil between them, but that's it. I've never
Okay.
licked one.
Well, you've never, like, tapped it to your tongue?
No.
That's like a well-known thing for how you test if the battery's dead.
What?
This is news to you?
If I suspect the battery's dying, typically I have a multimeter on me.
Well, okay, but how many people carry one around like you, nerd? So this is an old trick. It's an IT trick, but other people know this. If you're dealing with like wireless mics, which I've done before, and I've done events or whatever, and they have like a lavalier, like a lapel mic style, those very often are going to use those 9-volt batteries that are kind of rectangular, and they have the two contacts on top next to each other.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes those are hard to know if they're bad or not. And if you don't have a handy multimeter and you're in the middle of like, I got to know real quick if this battery is any good because, we're going live. I don't have time to fish around for tools. Like, we have a presentation going on here. The quick and easy trick, just grab it and do a quick little tap to the tongue and you'll feel it.
What?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, but, like,
I can't believe you've never tried this as a
how do
kid.
you know that if it's 9 volt or, like, 8.7?
Well, you don't know how much juice is left in it, but if there's enough juice that you can feel a little when you touch it to your tongue, then it's enough to power you through the meeting. Yeah. But
Huh.
if you're like getting practically nothing or like very mild little something, like barely tingling at all, you're like, okay, yeah, this thing's on its way out.
Yeah, so I just have proper tools on me. I've done some ghetto, like,
Okay, well,
jumping stuff.
you have a homework assignment.
I'm not trying a 9 volt
Find a
battery.
9-volt battery. Look, yes,
I'm not licking a
I would
9
do it
volt
right
battery.
here, right now, if I had one. I'm looking around. I don't think we have
I
any in
don't
the
wanna see
studio.
you lick a 9 volt battery.
Well, no, I want to see you do it.
I don't
I'll do it first if you're that afraid.
I'm not afraid of it.
Pansy. Yeah, you know it.
I've I've done have you ever done okay, so if we're talking, like, weird electrical stuff we've done,
Yeah.
I know we both have done the jumping of a power supply.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's standard.
What color on the power
Green and
supply.
black.
Oh, which black?
Any?
Okay.
They're all ground.
Just checking. Yeah,
I
it's the green wire and the black.
I've done some real sketchy stuff. Like I've chopped a like a ATX power header off and
Yeah,
then used each one for different things and jumped it like that.
you can.
It's pretty
Well, and
sketchy.
because of the color coding, you know which ones are 3.3. Do you remember the coloring?
Yeah, I think 3.3 is red.
No.
No, wait. Red is 5.
Yes.
12 is yellow.
Yes.
Orange is 3.3.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it kind of stuck in there.
It's
Yeah.
it's a little rough when it comes to the
Yeah.
colors.
Well, and then they have other ones. They have
Yeah,
purple
like
and
those are like they show up as -12.
exactly. They're the counter.
How does that even work? Because there's no negative, like,
Well, it's like the charge and the discharge.
mm, okay, so it's like the rail for
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
a rail.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, the ones that you're actually using for supplying power is one of those three.
Yeah, and when I was trying to figure out I was trying to crack Dell's, like, specific, voltage
Mm-hmm.
because on their motherboards it's proprietary. So back when I used to do
Yeah.
modding for them, I tried to crack it.
Yeah.
I got 7 out of the 8 pins. The last
That's
one is
pretty
a
good.
sense wire that you can try with, like, a 10,000 resistor or whatever,
Mm.
maybe do it, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the coloring that we just talked about is standard power supplies. There are brands like HP and Dell that sometimes some of their models will follow that convention. And I mean, I've had some of these, especially the enterprise, like business class ones. They'll have like a weird, like 10 pin
yep,
cube, and they're all weird colors, or like there's only two colors, just black and white or something.
yep.
And it's like, What?" And it's weird because it goes straight into the motherboard, and then, like, even the DVD player, if there is one,
Yeah, that's
or
like
the hard drive sometimes will get powered off the motherboard through that. Have you ever seen that?
yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that, yeah.
It's bizarre.
I've also had it on that same one, so it had 2 4-pin connectors for the CPU.
Yeah,
That's
which
standard.
not too
Yeah,
unusual.
that's standard,
Yeah.
but I was wondering why one of them like, would not fit. Turns out for some reason on the right of the because I was using a normal power supply,
Mhm.
the right one, I needed 2 rights
Yeah, they
to plug
need
it
a
in because 'cause they're
different
keyed
different
differently.
pinout order.
Yeah, so it
Yeah,
was
they'll do that.
both were the right, so I ended up just chopping it off and soldering on another one, and it worked.
Aren't you glad you had a teacher that taught you soldering?
I my soldering's rough. I haven't done soldering enough.
But at least it works.
It
Yeah.
works. It works at a pinch.
Yeah.
It
I love soldering. I don't do it very often. I'm not exactly great at it either. I just understand the principles, but it's kinda fun.
I
It's
did
kinda
micro
cool.
soldering once.
Yeah, micro soldering is, that really fine stuff, and I don't even have the right tools to really do it successfully. I've never really done great on micro soldering
I
type
did
stuff.
it once, and I was trying to remove something. I did remove it. I also removed, like, half the board with it.
Yeah, that's one of the dangers of going the opposite way, is trying to remove things because soldering irons are also used not just to put stuff on, but
But to take
also
them off, yeah.
to loosen up the solder to remove it, and yeah, you can remove too much stuff.
Especially yeah, well, okay,
Or you can cross things because if it's in a very small thing and those contacts are next to each other, it's very
yeah.
easy for that liquid solder to bridge two different contacts, and that could
Yeah,
cause
and
all sorts of
mind you,
permanent
I
problems.
was being taught okay, so, this was back when I was in my original work place
Okay.
where we had the phone store with us, and they had a station for micro soldering. The guy who was teaching me was a nepo baby who was, like, 16
Okay.
at the
Yeah.
time. He had never done micro soldering either. Like,
And he's teaching
he
you?
knew the basics of
That's
it,
like the blind leading the
and
blind.
he was like, "Yeah, so I can turn on this for you, and I'll give you a heat gun, a solder, and some flux."
Okay.
And it was not anything like it was just purely for demonstrative purposes. It wasn't any,
Yeah.
like, board that
Mm,
was useful. It was like a
okay.
dead phone that was not being
Yeah, just to
worked on.
practice on.
Yeah,
Sure, sure. Yeah.
and glad we were practicing, let's say that.
Yeah.
Those dudes make money, though.
Oh, yeah,
If you
yeah.
get real good
If you
at
do it
it
right. Well, I was trying at one point to with my class, I was trying to get them certified with something called WISE,
oh, I
WIZE,
know
which
it
is
well, 'cause
yeah,
I was in that class.
yeah. I was at WISC, SE.
Yeah.
And it would have been a really good cert for the students to get because that's like mobile device repair, and there is some bank in that,
Yeah, I
and
try
it's a specialty.
I when
I
you left, I pushed for it,
Yeah,
and I asked day 1, "Are we still doing this cert?" And they said, "Yeah."
yeah.
which is half the reason I stayed in that class and didn't transfer.
Yeah.
Like 4 months in, they go, "Yeah, the cert was canceled."
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried. I tried. I was so close. I had it all lined up, but, I had to do my AZ strut thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I don't blame you for.
No, I think it was a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, I got an internship out of it.
See? And now you know not to eat coin batteries, but you can lick a 9 volt if you really want to.
I mean, technically, you could probably get away with eating a coin battery, it just
Oh, a
well,
lot of these coin batteries are actually
lithium,
lithium.
yeah,
I would not ever
which
recommend that.
speaking of which, did you know lithium, it smells sweet?
Yeah, because if they swell and
Yep.
puncture, it has a really nice smell. I'm not recommending anyone listening
Don't
will do that. Please
don't.
don't. But it does have a pretty nice
Well,
effervescent
y
smell,
yeah, so
surprisingly.
I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
One day
Well, they should make a lithium perfume. Would
it
you
would
buy
smell good.
that?
I mean,
Li
you'd probably die.
Lithium scented, not actually made out of
I mean,
lithium.
I don't wear perfume, so
Well,
maybe
lithium
I'd
scented cologne, whatever.
that's too sweet for me, but maybe I'd buy it for, like, my sister.
Lithium scented beard schmear, you know?
Beard
Yeah,
schmear?
you know what beard schmear is?
No.
Well, you don't have any facial hair, and you never will, so that's probably why you don't
Alright.
know. But for men, beard schmear is like a hair product for your beard. A beard, just so you know, is like hair that you have on top of your head, but down lower on your chin. Real men have you wouldn't know,
So
never mind.
when does mine turn white like yours?
I would well, mine's not. I'm a
What?
redhead that's got, like, all the rainbow of colors in there. There's a little red, a little black, a little
Can't
white.
believe you're a redhead.
I know. It's faded. I got my soul back, as they say. You know, they always used to say that in elementary school to us redheads. They always tell
Yeah,
us we have
you
no
guys are
soul.
soulless? Yeah.
I don't know where that came
It's
from.
so true.
Probably because of me. I might have been the ginger that inspired that theory because I
Possibly.
was not a very popular redhead when I was a kid.
I Are you now?
I'm not a redhead anymore, so yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I am a redhead technically, but right, you look at me and you're like, "I was not a redhead."
Yeah, it's just, like, white,
You
old.
you should have seen me back in the day. Like, when I was elementary school, like, as red as the on-air light at a
Really?
recording studio. I was red. Like, I maybe I can find some pictures. I'll have to show you. I was a big freckles, tons of freckles, total red blaring hair.
So you're just, like, 90% Irish.
I actually do have a lot of Scottish and Irish
Yeah, I was
heritage.
gonna there's no
Yeah,
way you're not.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the rest is, like, British English. Like, I've got the
So
European
you're just
mutt going on.
okay.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't even I just know I'm like a mutt. Like, I know there's, like
I'm not even sure if you're 90% human, to be
yeah,
honest.
I don't know either.
I mean, that could go any direction, but
But, yeah, so that with that story,
yeah.
so one day, this lady comes in, and no, I heard this from a coworker
So this isn't
and the
your
lady.
story. This is a third party
So,
story.
it's kind of a third party story. This
Okay.
was before I got to the store, but I ended up meeting the lady later on and hearing her
Alright,
side of things.
alright, alright.
So from the coworker, I heard this. She comes in, says the battery, like, the battery seems to be dying quickly.
On a laptop, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
that's a
Okay.
laptop,
Yeah.
and she was saying, like, "It smells sweet," and so
Oh.
he ended up knowing what that meant, so he replaced the battery.
Yeah.
Later on, I meet the lady, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I heard this one story before about this specific computer that it was smelling sweet," and she was like, "Yeah, I wish it did. I was kind of upset that it went away." And I was 'cause it had been sweet for months before she brought it in.
Wow, that means there was a leak in her battery for months.
Yeah,
That's
which
dangerous.
is, like that probably
Wow,
took some years off of her lungs because
right?
lithium's super toxic.
Yeah, it's not good for you. So, like, one time I was working on some donated cell phones at AZ Store because, we work on cell phones, we accept those as well. And, some of these batteries were just really end of life. They were Android, so they're practically garbage already anyway. My little dig on Android there. But also they
Don't
were
blame
just
you.
they were really old. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, as much as Android has potential, a lot of manufacturers make their hardware limited. They will not receive updates. Like Motorola's, you get 2 years, and then that's it,
Yeah,
which is insane for reusability. I think Android could be a pretty good operating system if they would support it a little
yeah,
longer.
I have a Samsung Tab, like, 7, which is really not that old.
Yeah, and it's already end of
It's
life.
end of life. It's been EOL for, like, a couple of years,
Yeah,
which is crazy to me because the screen's 120
right.
hertz OLED. Like, it's nice.
Yeah, hardware specs, it's
Which,
fine.
I mean, if you're comfortable with it, you can
I
sideload.
mean, an iPad would last twice as long or 3 times as long as your average Android tablet.
And, like, usually their hardware's worse,
Yeah.
usually.
Well, it depends.
Okay, well
I mean, I've had some pretty cruddy Android
okay, yeah,
tablets
okay, okay.
go through the
We're talking,
doors.
like, Samsung
Yeah, you match
or
up a flagship Samsung versus a nice iPad, the specs are pretty comparable.
yeah, usually, though, like, it'll have more RAM
Well, it
or
depends. Again, because if you get like a real pimped out iPad Pro versus like the low end iPad mini or something, different worlds.
yeah, they are
You
different.
know,
Well,
so
one's basically a laptop with touchscreen.
yeah, I mean, like the one I'm using right here in the studio is an
Is
iPad Pro,
yeah, it's
and
you have a keyboard on it. That's,
it's
like, literally a computer.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a big one too. This is the 12-inch model, and I've learned, I mean, I didn't learn, but I first time tried this keyboard attachment, and ever since I've had that, I was like, wow, I really don't need my laptop as with me as much as anymore.
No,
This
yeah.
really has a lot of laptop functionality
Well,
with
and
it.
the cool thing with that, right? With you have a MacBook, right?
Of course, I do.
Okay. So with a MacBook, what you can do with iPads, you can use them as a secondary screen fully over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
which is awesome
I've
because
done that.
I
It's
tested it
yeah.
before. You can go cross room with it too.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I'm teaching, sometimes I have to do online classes if I'm traveling or whatever, and I don't cancel class. That's just not my style. I just do a remote
Just
class that
work.
day. Just do it remote.
There's this thing called a vacation. You might want to take one where you actually don't work.
I've read about those.
Wait, so were you just teaching class while you were in Europe?
No, it was summer break,
Oh,
so
that's
I
true.
didn't
Okay,
have to
that makes
worry
sense.
about it. But there are times when I've had to teach class while I'm out of town, and I like to have a dual monitor setup. So I would do that. I would have my iPad would be one screen. My main one is and it has a desktop style feeling. So
The only drawback I have to that is when you're using them like that, I just wish the iPad kept its touchscreen. Because I think if you touch the screen, it, like, brings up the menu of what you're doing, which is,
right,
like, sideshow.
there's a rumor that
What
this year or next year there will be a touchscreen MacBook.
MacBook? Really?
Yes. There's a rumor circulating that
I
they're in the works right now with the
If they
first
release
ever.
that, I feel like the iPad is just gone.
I don't know, I think that's why they haven't done it this whole time. But
I It's tough to say though, because like, the iPad does MacBooks are good
yeah.
with portability already, but iPads still are on a
Oh,
different level.
totally, and that's why I really my chair just started sinking lower here. I think that was when our knees touched. Anyway.
Our knees touch?
Well, sometimes when we touch.
No.
No? Oh, it's a great 80s song if you don't know it.
What?
I don't know.
Of course, it's from the '80s,
Right, right.
back in
Back when music was good. I don't like music right now. Music sucks right now.
I kind of agree. Music
Yeah,
isn't great right now. I would
it's in a
say
lull.
peak music, this may show, like, weird, like, 2020.
I was gonna say one of the great years of music was 2009, 2008, 2009, 2010.
2009?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's some good songs in that era.
those were, like,
Killer.
really good movie years.
No, no, those are good music years too.
What song came out of this?
Google like the top like Billboard 100 for 2009. You'll look back and
It's
go,
gonna be Michael Jackson, that's not fair.
Michael Jackson
Yeah.
in '09?
Didn't he die in '09?
That his peak was not when he died. His peak was in the '80s.
I don't know. His peak was lately. What are you talking? He broke records again.
Well, okay, but you know what I mean. That's like rehashed stuff. That's
That
not
was
the
actually
same.
pretty crazy that he's, like, top of Spotify
Well,
leaderboard.
every year at Christmas, Mariah Carey tops the charts,
Yeah, I know, that's
which
crazy.
don't get me started on that one.
What?
I'm tired of that
That's because
song.
you like Hanukkah. Like, you're like
It has nothing to do with that. I just don't like that song. I am it's too much. It's everywhere all the time, every year. It just drives me nuts.
it is actually, like,
I can't. Yeah.
malls put it on repeat.
Oh, it's too much. I can't. I can't. I never again. I would never. We'll save that for our Christmas episode. It's kind of July right now, so maybe not.
I think this is us projecting, like,
Well,
we want the cold back.
I remember that we somehow got off topic. I was talking about the smell of batteries.
Yeah, I know we got
We
on that
got
topic.
way down there.
How
I
did
was just saying that one time I was trying to fix, or I was decommissioning a cell phone that came in. It was
yeah.
unusable anymore because Android, and that's where I
Oh,
got
yeah,
that
yeah,
back.
okay, okay.
Yeah, and I the battery was puffy.
Uh,
We call it a spicy pillow.
yeah, I was gonna say the spicy
The
pillow.
spicy
They
pillows.
do look it actually bothers me how comfortable they look.
They do look
They
comfortable.
do they look so especially, like, MacBook
Yeah,
batteries.
yeah.
Those swollen MacBook
But those are
batteries.
spicy pillows.
Well,
You don't want to put that anywhere near you.
if you lay on it and it pops, you're not gonna
Well,
be alive.
so I was in my office decommissioning one, and some of these manufacturers use a lot of adhesive. I think you already know where this is going because you've been there and done that yourself. So I'm using a spudger, which is sort of like a plastic sort of wedge
Like,
tool,
scraper, yeah.
like a scraper almost. And I'm getting under there, but because the battery was extra adhesive and I didn't have any heat guns
Did
with
you use a
me.
metal spudger?
No, it was
Okay,
plastic. I'm
okay.
not an idiot. It was a plastic spudger, but I didn't use heat, partially because it was already a spicy
Yeah.
pillow, so you gotta be careful. And I didn't really have anything handy, and I could have maybe put it on a heat mat for a little bit, but it would have to go through the screen, and I don't know how much it would make that much of it, and it was already like a warm room. My office was pretty hot, so I was like, "Fine." And I just kept going, but then all of a sudden, I smelled the sweet smell, and I'm like,
Oh.
"Ah, I punctured the thing." Or the term sometimes is I gassed it.
Mm.
It's letting out the gas. So they'll actually say I gassed the battery. That's one of the terms. So I accidentally gassed it, right? And I'm like, I like the smell, but I probably should open my door and take this outside. So I
I
went out into the
probably
yeah. I mean, it's not. See, here's the thing: is people think that just because the battery is puffy, that it's going to explode if it gets
No.
punctured.
No. It's only if
It
you
doesn't.
cross the, like, whatever
If
how a battery
if
works.
the contacts
Yeah.
if the positive and the negative charge of the contacts get bridged or shorted or somehow connected to each other through some sort of conductive
That's
material,
why you don't use metal.
it'll cause that, right? Or but there's another way that they can spontaneously combust that's related to that, and that's if you pierce the battery.
Yeah.
Because the batteries, they're very interesting. Like they're stacked.
Yeah, that's like 7 layers or
Yeah,
something.
well, it depends on the battery and all sorts of factors. But yeah, they're stacked, and they're even stacked on double A's. It's just they stack it and then roll it like a Swiss roll.
Yeah, that's why if you can unroll them. Have you ever seen them
I
unroll?
have.
They
They're
look
weird looking.
they kinda look like they taste
Yeah.
good, I'm not gonna lie.
People think that the battery itself is actually naturally round. They're actually rectangular. It's just that with double A's and a lot of these other round batteries, they just rolled the material and put it in a
Yeah.
tube. So it's a tube of tubes lipstick, but it's actually a rolled out or rolled up square. Anyway, so the battery layers that make that up, there's positive and negative ions and charges and things going on there, and there's separator material, and that separator material slows down the ions transferring from one side to the other, and as the ions move from one side to the other, that's what generates that electricity and sends
Mm,
that juice out. But if you puncture the layers that separate that, then your instant contact, too many ions are going through at once, and then boom, you have a very explosive moment, right?
and lithium fires are no joke either.
They are
'Cause I think the
really bad.
isn't the only way to put out a lithium fire, like, either a special extinguisher or putting stuff on top of it?
Well,
But even putting stuff on top,
smothering it with, like, sand, or there's a special material called vermiculite, but that really just makes the fire more inert.
I was gonna
It
say,
doesn't, like it's still gonna burn out what material it's got. You can starve it from oxygen, but
does that work?
it'll stop the incinerary part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely no water. I mean, with regular fire, you think water, but no, definitely not a
I mean,
chemical
you could
thing.
throw water on it.
Well, you could, but it ain't gonna
It's
help. If anything, it'll make things
it'll
worse.
make it a lot worse.
Yeah, but so when I gassed it, I knew that that didn't mean I was puncturing the layers. Like
Right, you're just popping the actual, like
yeah. So the gases that built up got released. It smelled great. I immediately took it outside and I finished the extraction of the battery outside. I mean, I just was very careful, more so,
yeah.
but I did it outside. Once I had the battery out, I wrapped it. We use wrap, like a plastic wrap material. Plastic wrap, and if it's a regular battery in good condition, we'll just cover the contacts with plastic. If it's swelling or has some other iffy signs, we do the whole device is wrapped or the whole battery is
Is it
wrapped.
like plastic wrap as in it'll contain a
Yeah.
fire?
Well, because nothing's gonna go through to start it. It's starved from oxygen. It protects it from being punctured, and it keeps the contacts from shorting or
What
from making connections
what if
with
it
each
gets
other.
too hot though? Because that also does it.
It can, but it has to be pretty
It does have
extreme.
to get up there.
You would like okay, right now we were talking about how like crazy hot it is.
You could leave it in your car
If it
still.
was over, well, you could, but if it's a bad battery already and you're at over 120 degrees, especially if it has direct sunlight, yeah, you could have what we call a thermal incident, and that could be bad. But
Thermal
if you
incident.
have it in the shade, if it's anywhere near climate controlled, even 100 degrees, but shaded and protected and wrapped appropriately, you're less likely. But, remember the Samsung, Galaxy Note 8,
Yeah,
was it?
I think
I think it was
so.
the Note 8, and you can Google that if you're listening along.
The trauma stories.
That one, you didn't have to puncture the battery, you didn't have to short the contacts, you didn't have to leave it out in the sun.
That's when it was
It
blown up.
was it was defective
Yeah,
on its own, and they were spontaneously combusting
like in people's pockets.
in people's
Yeah.
pockets, in cars, on their chargers.
I I think we
Insane.
I think we talked about this once, but I had a Verizon store next to when I lived in California.
Yeah,
I had a Verizon store next to my house that had, like, just been built, and then they put those phones in there,
and
and
it
it
burned it down.
burned down, like, the 4 buildings
Oh,
next to it too.
no. Yeah.
And that was, like, because I was born right after the economy crash, so
Mhm.
they were still recovering, and this was a recovering
Like,
time.
08, 09.
I was born in '07.
Gosh, you're so young. Well, the crash was like '08,
Yeah,
so
so
right around that.
they started construction on it, like, I think, like, '09, '10,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and then, like, it took forever for it to be built, and then it burns down, like, a month
I
after it
hope they had
opened.
good insurance.
It
Yeah,
took 4 buildings out, though, with it, because it was
yeah.
in a line.
Well, and the problem is if they get to other batteries,
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
it's that whole
There's
synergy thing,
there's no
right?
saving it.
Yeah, then they roll down each other, and then it's all downhill
I
from there.
You have to have, like, a super special
Yeah.
fire extinguisher.
Well, no, you don't have to have super
Well, it's like a
special. You just
Type
have the right
C,
type.
right?
Yeah, I believe it's or type D.
It's one of the
I think it's
2.
type D, but it depends. I mean, I gotta double check, but
I
if you
know.
do a quick Google, I believe I think my curriculum says type D, but there's ABCs, and those will work. They're better than nothing, and they're not bad. Just don't get a water-based one, and you should be fine.
Water.
But yeah, well,
Uh,
so we recommend wrap. We always wrap them, and if we're extra worried, we'll put them in a bucket of sand.
okay.
That'll do it because sand is inert.
Yeah, sand's not
It's not gonna do anything.
worst comes to
But
worst, you'll get some glass.
the biggest issue typically is if you puncture them, and I've had other now this has not happened to us because 'cause we're pretty careful about this, but I've talked to another person who's in the same industry of e-waste recycling, and they had an issue where they had a laptop with the bottom removed, so the bottom was exposed, the battery was exposed, and they kinda tossed another laptop in there, and the other laptop had hit the battery on the corner. So
Oh.
the computer they threw in, the corner of that computer hit the exposed battery right on, and it did puncture it hard enough to make 2 layers connect each other, which started the whole thing.
Yeah,
It was
so
bad.
that's always been my thing. So when the phone company was there, they'd put all their batteries in a cardboard box?
No, my guess is because that's typically batteries are relatively safe
Safe,
enough,
yeah.
right? I mean, you'll bring them on they still let you bring them on an airplane, so they can't be that dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Although when you go to an airplane, they ask you now, "Is there any batteries in your check-in?" And they don't want you to have any batteries in your check-in. And they even say, if you do have batteries on your carry-on, keep it on your person or on the bag below. You don't want it in the overhead compartment.
Yeah, because that'd be bad.
Right. So it is a concern, but it's not such a concern that they actually are like checking,
Yeah, but,
you
like,
know.
I don't to me, putting a bunch of swollen batteries in a
But
cardboard
the
box
Galaxy Note
well,
8
that was its special
it
one
was
because
yeah, those ones were still in the phone, not even swelling, and you would see that happen. They would incinerate. So those are exceptions. In general, batteries are still relatively safe as long as you don't do anything stupid. And even if it's swollen, yes, use caution. Yes, stop using that device if you can avoid it and take it to a proper recycling facility. But it's not gonna, just instantly combust necessarily. Don't
yeah.
freak out over it.
Well,
Be smart, but don't freak out.
there's some bad practices, like, they would go out back and pop some batteries.
Yeah.
Like, that one's not a good
Like,
idea.
you can let it gas out, and it's not gonna cause a problem necessarily if you're careful that you only
Yeah, I was
puncture
gonna say they didn't do that.
right, no, they were actually puncturing it so hard that it was going through and
Yeah, no,
connecting
they
the
put, like, a
layers.
hole through it.
Right, and that is dumb. Now, I'm not saying you should gas it out. I'm just saying if like you're like when I was take the battery out of the phone,
Yeah.
I accidentally punctured the wrap. It doesn't necessarily make it any more likely that it's going to implode or anything. It
Mm,
just means that the gas has escaped, but the layers are still
good.
separated.
Yeah.
The contacts are still not making contact with each other directly. Like it's nothing immediately dangerous other than you shouldn't be inhaling the fumes because they're not good for you, no matter how sweet they smell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it you still should have just a little bit of careful if the battery's exposed. But this goes for lithium. I mean, look like double A's.
Double A's are fine. Although I think rechargeable ones are lithium.
Well, it depends what the well, so double A's is a bit of a overstatement. Alkaline based batteries.
Yeah, they're fine.
Alkaline batteries, which are your disposable double A's,
You can
triple
toss
A's.
those. You're actually not supposed to toss those ones.
Yeah, but you are supposed to toss
Double
like,
A's.
and it sounds weird because we're all about recycling and the proper use, and we get a lot of people who bring us alkaline batteries. We actually turn them away because we don't recycle alkaline batteries. They're not
'Cause
meant to be
yeah,
recycled.
they're meant to be
They're
tossed.
actually meant to go into the landfill. You know that extra fancy water that the bottled water?
Yeah, alkaline
It's
water.
alkaline water.
Yeah.
Alkaline batteries do not hurt the environment. They're actually good for landfills. So put your double A's and triple A's in the landfill. That's fine, but not your lithiums.
No lithium or CRTs.
Yeah, or well, yeah, that's not batteries. That's compute.
Well,
That's
that's well,
screens. But
screens,
yeah.
but I always think those 2 are hilarious because, like, what would happen if you had a lithium battery that gets punctured by a CRT? Like, you just have a bonfire at
Well,
that
I'll
point?
tell you this. One time before I started at AZ Strut, someone this is predating me, but we used to have a lot of CRTs, those old tube TVs coming through the door because we do a lot of e-waste. And ever since about I don't know 2000, about the time you were born, people were upgrading to flat screens and
Yeah.
slowly getting rid of those. And there's been a bit of a peak, and now we're heading downhill. We're not getting as much at all as we used to, but there was a lot of work with CRTs, and they were moving one and they dropped it by accident because it happens. People are people, and powder and dust flies out of it. Do you know what that powder and dust is?
I'm assuming it was probably mercury.
It's mostly powderized lead.
Okay.
Lead is a forever chemical. It's a heavy metal.
That's
If it
like
gets in your system, it doesn't come out. It can cause all sorts of major issues.
lead poisoning.
Yeah, cognitive issues, permanent. It's bad. And so, the guy who was running the show at the time, he's like, "Everyone out. Get away until the dust settles." And then there's special, like, vacuums you can get that can vacuum up those kind of
Yeah.
things. But yeah, it was like he's like, "Don't even try and clean up right now. Don't worry about the glass. Just walk away. Walk away, let the dust settle. Do not be around when that's in there. Do not breathe that in."
Yeah.
That's why that's one of the few things we charge to recycle.
Yeah, lead, mercury,
Yeah.
capacitors that keep their charge for, like, 30 years, all inside of a
Yeah.
CRT.
Yeah, if you pop open a CRT, even if it hasn't been used in a couple years, you could shock yourself if you're not careful if you poke the wrong thing with a screwdriver. Isn't that
Yeah, that's
crazy?
also why they tell you not to open power supplies.
I can't even get a battery that holds a charge that long. How come CRTs do? But it's only enough for one big shock.
Yes,
It's not
enough to,
sustainable.
like, kill somebody once, but not twice.
Yeah. But there are ways you can discharge those. That's what professionals
I
will
mean,
do.
a lot of times, can't you just get rid of all the stuff in the capacitor? Like, not with a CRT. Well, even with a CRT, just unplug it and then
If
hold
you
the power
unplug
button.
it while it's running, it'll
Oh, yeah, because
it
it'll
it'll try and use what's left in the capacitor. Um, and I don't recommend anyone assume that that makes it safe because it's not necessarily. But you can also pop the cap off the back of the tube, and that'll discharge it. But again, you have to have the right tools and be careful. And I'm
yeah, I
not
was just
recommending anyone do this because I don't want to get sued by some idiot who thinks that's a good idea.
can't you also just, like, turn off like, unplug the monitor, then hold down the power button because 'cause it'll try and turn on?
That's more of a PC thing
Really? Not with monitors?
because PCs have that CMOS battery, so it has a little juice to actually try and initiate
Oh,
it.
okay.
You don't have that with a old CRT.
Makes sense.
So it doesn't really it depends on what kind of power switch you have, but if it's like the kind where it's like an actual physical switch in, switch out, then yes. But if it's the kind that's like the little push button thing where the button doesn't actually go in, it just like activates
Mhm.
something, then no. That just
That
sends
makes
that
sense.
sends a signal to the board that sends a signal to the power supply saying send me something.
Makes sense. What was okay, speaking of CRTs, now that we're just on this topic really
Yeah.
quick. The one thing I've, like, never understood, well, I kinda understood it, but I don't also need to understand it, degaussing or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, it looks funny, but what was it about again? Is it
So if you hold a magnet to an old school TV, those old
it would,
CRTs,
like, mess it up, right?
it would give it this weird coloration, like, 70s acid trip looking colorization to it. And it could be permanent to that TV. And it's because the lead and those other things in there get distorted and moved around in a way that it distorts the coloring of the image
Okay.
because there's powderized lead floating around in there. And you're pulling all that lead into different places. And so it's not an even balance anymore. And that lead also interacts with phosphorus layers because what happens is the CRT, the cathode ray tube, sends down a beam of light and
Okay.
it hits it and interacts with the phosphorus in there and it makes it glow.
Okay.
And you're pulling those things and messing up the layering of them with the magnet. That's what
Okay.
it is.
So, what would
So the
degaussing
degaussing, what it does is it resets the electromagnetic energy and it resets everything back into
Huh.
its default state. And if your computer monitor, mostly you didn't see this on TVs very often, but computer monitors, you would see this on occasion, a little button that would say DGOS. A lot of them didn't have it, which was dumb because then you could never fix it. But if they built in a little DGOS button, then you could always fix it. And it would just
Huh.
be push the DGOS button and it fixes it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of old school history
I
stuff.
mean, like, you're never gonna see that now,
I
like,
mean,
ever.
I don't know. It's making a comeback. Gamers
I have
love
yeah, I have
CRTs
heard that. Why was that? Why is that a thing?
because the way that video games were designed, they were designed with CRTs in mind. The way the pictures look better on the style of display they were
I
designed
have seen that.
for.
I heard that it was also, like, faster somehow, but I don't
It
know
is
how.
because it moves at the speed of light.
What?
Because it's light, it's cathode ray tube. It's like instant
Yeah,
almost. Yeah, it's really fast refresh rates. It's different than redrawing the lines, at the same speed of a LED. LEDs have a certain latency
yeah, cause
turned on and off.
yeah.
This is self-glowing phosphorus hit by
So would you say a CRT is almost like an OLED, or does it have a backlight?
no, it's the phosphorus
It
is
doesn't have a
hitting
backlight,
the
right?
phosphorus layer is on the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
More you know. I mean, like, good luck getting a CRT.
Yeah, I mean, they had burn-in though, just like
Plasma
how
and stuff.
OLED can and plasma
Yeah.
can. CRTs were bad for burn-in,
Yeah, I've
really
seen
bad.
that.
Yeah, like, I think we talked about this before. We
Yeah,
had one in class, the
the
security camera.
yeah,
Yeah.
security camera one, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, they're really bad for burn-in, but if you're a gamer and you're looking for a good CRT, they're not impossible to find because some people are trying to get rid of them. Here's what I would say, don't throw one in the dump.
I don't just
Ever. Don't ever do that because that's really bad for the environment. But if it still works at all, you could still donate it to a nonprofit, but like even ours, we can't take it for free because it costs
yeah,
us
cause
so much to recycle these
isn't it
things
like a
appropriately.
dollar per pound or something
It's a
like that?
dollar a pound, and that's pass through cost. We are not making money on it
Yeah,
at
there's
all.
no way you could make.
In fact,
I
that
was gonna say, I'm surprised you're not taking a loss
we actually kind of are. That's our cost by pound with our recyclers, but we still have to pay for the manpower to handle it
in
and
transport.
deliver it there and transport. Yeah, so we actually kind of are taking a loss. We're definitely people think that we're just like trying to make a buck off them. It's like, hey, we're taking everything else for free here. Like we're
Yeah,
helping you out. But if you can, you could get paid for that CRT
I
if you find the right gaming community, get on the right Facebook page.
can you sell that on eBay?
I don't
I
know.
can't see
I
them
don't know.
being able to ship that.
I would recommend like a Facebook
Yeah,
marketplace. Like
like,
with
in-person deal.
yeah, because they're heavy, the shipping's a nightmare. I mean, you saw the YouTube video about the guy who found the world's largest CRT in Japan?
I have not
Oh,
seen
you
that.
haven't seen this?
No.
You gotta find this video.
Okay.
It's a longish one. So it's a gamer enthusiast because gamers love a good CRT, and it really does make a difference. I mean, they have some converters that you can plug in like an old school NES into, and it does like a different kind of scanning, and it converts it so you can use an HDMI modern TV, and it looks decent. Some of these do a really good job, but there's nothing the same like a real one. And there was this like legend of this one Sony Triniton TV that was the size of like 4 times of what most people would say was a big TV for the day
Like
with
a
CRTs.
17-inch?
No, no, like it was like a 60-inch CRT. It was huge.
My g
Huge. I mean, you can't even imagine how big it is really until you see it.
Like, that's like 600 pounds.
It was probably more than that. It was crazy heavy.
'Cause I know I have, like, a little 15-inch
Yeah.
CRT at my house, and it's, like, a minimum 50
I
pounds.
think it was the equivalent of, I can't remember the exact numbers, but like a good sized TV back in then that days would be like a 22, 24 inch,
Okay.
right? So this was like 4 of those stacked together. It's huge
Man,
for
you
CRT.
got burning on that.
Yeah.
That would
Well,
suck.
this one guy, I mean, it was like a legend in gamer community, and they think they found one through like someone's like post about their business. It was in like a Japanese restaurant in their waiting room, like in the lounge, when you wait for your
Yeah.
table. It was there. And they were like, "Is that real? Is it really it? It can't be real." Because it was like no one could find one of these in the wild. No one could even find out if it was really something that was ever offered to the public or if it was only
Like,
uh,
legend.
yeah, like a legend or
Okay.
like it was some sort of like beta device that never really got released.
Okay.
And they found one and they found out that the person who owned that restaurant had ties to someone who worked at Sony. And they
Oh,
finally got a hold of the guy, and the guy's like, "Yeah, actually, I do still have that TV, and it does still work." And they were like, "What?" And
what?
he says, "It's actually interesting that you're calling me because I'm moving the restaurant or I'm closing it down or something." He says, I don't know what to do with the TV, but I have to get rid of it."
Good
And
luck paying for that.
and like, how do you get rid of something like that? It's gonna cost you a fortune just to get
Yeah,
rid
that's
of
like
it.
$1,000 to get rid of.
Well, so the guy, the YouTuber, he's like, "I'll take it off your hands for free." And the guy's like,
No
"Deal."
way.
But the guy's like, "But I'm not shipping it. Like, you gotta come get it. You gotta take it out of my restaurant. I don't know how you're gonna do it." And he only had like a week or something. Like the guy's lease was up. Like it had to go.
Okay.
Anyway, he bounded a lot of stuff together. And long story short, the guy managed. He got
No
it back to
way.
his garage.
It sounds
And
like some Tyler Olivia video.
and like it was really cool. And then he hooked up like Mario Kart. And in Mario Kart, when you had 4 players, it would do like the cross
Yeah,
section.
this
Every person had like their own 22-inch CRT basically
that is pretty
on the
cool.
one giant screen. It looked awesome. It took a lot of configuration, like, they had to fix it up,
I was
and
gonna say they
there was work. Like, this guy had to spend boku bucks to get this thing. But, if you wanna get rid of your old CRT, there's someone out there who's likely gonna pay for it as
Ye
long as it works.
yeah, I don't know. I'm I have a CRT and I'm trying to get rid of it, but I also don't wanna I'm just
If you're not trying very hard if you can't find a buyer right
well,
now.
no.
It's become like
Okay,
this cool, like, gamer thing.
it's like the OG Mac
Yeah,
that we had in our class.
yeah.
So the problem with it is, you remember my USB kill?
Yeah, you used it.
So every port on that does no longer work.
You used it on every port.
All the USB ports anyways.
What is wrong with you?
It was
So
fun.
d Use it once to test it on one port.
We had a bad Optiplex in class one time. This was the 2nd year. We had a bad Optiplex, like, it was like the MOBO was
Oh,
bad or something,
jeez.
and so we took everything out, and
Mhm.
we just had a motherboard that was dead anyways,
Yeah.
and I had the USB kill, so we put it on repeat.
So just keep frying it?
Oh, it was bad, like,
Could you smell the
you
burn?
saw sparks. There was
Oh,
sparks going off
jeez.
that board.
Only you, Asher.
Wha it was pretty fun.
You're bad. See, that's the kind of shenanigans that I would have put a stop to,
Eh,
to an extent.
now the water bottle exploding thing, you would have put a stop to.
Oh, yeah, you think?
That was that was bad. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, y'all are bad.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I mean, you're not that bad.
My idea was to put the camera in there, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, though. We had a camera in there, we watched it expand, and then it sounded like a bomb went off.
And water every well, there's no water
There
in it.
wasn't water in it,
Yeah.
but we put cold spray and then on a heat
Yeah,
pad.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
The
The things that
things that
happen.
unsupervised children will do.
Yeah, you're
So
not wrong.
so we've actually had a lot of fun stuff we talked about. We didn't talk about any news type things. Did you
This
have
is
any,
true.
like, recent, like, articles that you came in with?
So,
Because I figure we should do something informative in that sense.
in, like, the last 10 minutes,
How much time do we have left?
we're at
Oh, we got
53.
10 minutes.
Okay, so there is a couple of, like, cool cybersecurity things. Also kind of funny, GitHub was breached.
No, GitHub was breached?
GitHub was breached.
Okay, so what is GitHub?
Git From my understanding, it's almost like a place where you can store versions of stuff,
Yeah, it's
like
a
yeah.
repository.
Oh, okay, if we're using actual language, but not
Well, I
everybody
mean,
knows what a
I
repository is.
think it's a standard enough concept.
If you're in computers,
Alright, think of it like a bank, but for code.
yeah. A bank for code, which allows you to store different versions of your code and stuff
Yeah,
like that too.
like a safety deposit box for code.
Yeah.
But except it's a lot of it can be open source too if you wanna share, but it doesn't have to be.
But you can tell, like, whoever breached GitHub is, like, the most chill person ever.
Really?
'Cause
Why?
I think they tweeted from the GitHub account or something, and
Whoa.
they were like, "Hello, we breached it. Uh, we'll sell the source code plus 4,000 private repos to whoever is the highest bidder, no low balls." And then they were like, I think at the end it was like, "If nobody pays, we're just gonna leak it for free."
Well, then why would anybody pay?
'Cause only one person gets it if they
Oh, yeah.
so, like, if you buy it.
But if you don't buy it, then you're gonna get it for free anyway.
Yeah, there's the Gitia Docker image. That also was breached. I don't know if that's the same breach or a
So, do
separate
you know
thing.
what a Docker is? Because that's
I know what Docker is.
okay, yeah.
Docker is a container, like a
Well, what does
kind
that
of
mean?
okay. So container is like
I think we did actually do this in a
I
previous
think so. The
episode.
way I like to think of containers is like almost like a virtual machine, but on an OS.
It's like a slice of a whole operating system in a little
Yeah,
container
it's like
piece of it.
and the reason it's called Docker is I don't know, but it's a whale.
It's kinda like if you take a car and all you need is the alternator. You just
Yeah.
take the alternator out of a car and put that into your existing machine, and you use that.
Yeah, but
That's a container.
Docker and Podman both are containers, and they're both great because if your code works on your machine, it might not work on another one. So you just package everything together in a Docker image and
Yeah,
then send it out.
because it's like universal
'Cause
stuff.
yeah, it's all in the same thing. It's great. But that was also compromised using
So Docker was compromised?
a Docker image, not Docker,
Oh, okay.
but it was the GitHub or the Git
Oh,
service through
yeah.
Docker.
Yeah, okay.
So that was
Because I mean, everyone uses Docker, like any Fortune 500 company.
uses
Are
yeah,
they're using because Docker is great because you can assign so it's almost like if you've ever used a database, or like a shared Excel file, like a Google Sheets online,
yeah,
and you've worked with people in real time. GitHub has sort of a feature like that where different coders in your organization can work on different elements of different code and you can all collaborate and see it in real time before you let it publish. And you can give people only access to the certain parts you want them to have access to. So it's great for collaboration and testing stuff before you make it go live. And you don't have to worry typically about the security of stuff. And that way the code doesn't live on one person's machine. It
yeah.
lives in this shared space.
Now, I don't know if you've ever used Docker's web UI.
I don't think I have. I've only
There's
actually used it.
probably a good
Yeah.
reason for that.
Why?
So the web UI is polished, like, it looks great,
Yeah.
but it crashes every 5 minutes.
Always?
Like, it hangs
Oh, okay.
bad.
So web UI meaning the web interface, just so
Or
everyone
just
like
yeah, just like an app interface,
like
basically.
like through Chrome or Edge or
No, it's
something.
actually just a local. I didn't mean web UI, I just
Oh,
meant
okay.
UI. Yeah,
Okay.
the GUI for it is it looks great, but it's horrible when it comes to actually running stuff.
Yeah, I've never used it.
Like, I've used command line for it, it'll run it no problem. As soon as you try and do it in the GUI, it's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, no,
You know,
this is not."
I think I did try to do that once on a Raspberry Pi when I was doing my Rust desk setup. Or no, it was a Linux machine, and I
Mhm.
was using the web interface or the installer package. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't a web interface so much. It was just a
like a GUI,
graphical
yeah.
the graphical user interface. Yeah, and I did that on a Linux distro on a laptop, and it was iffy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I didn't.
Have you ever tried Podman?
No,
That's like I use it on my Fedora and it works pretty well.
same thing as Docker, just a different.
Basically, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a different name.
yeah.
But I don't know, that one's pretty cool because it lets you build them into, like, what's called quadlets, which is my understanding is not great on them, but
So is there 4 of them?
I
The
honestly don't
name
know
says
why it's
quad.
quad,
Yeah.
but I know that you can basically whereas Docker will run as a service,
Mhm.
with Podman, you can basically build it into the system configuration list.
Oh,
So you instead of putting it as a startup item, it just boots with your operating system. Like,
yeah.
instead of it being its own entity, it's, like, built in.
So it's almost like taking that alternator and actually installing it in the engine
Pretty
and not
much,
just
yeah.
through a connection to the engine.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
But, yeah, so I guess the bypass was for Gitia, the GitHub Docker image, was for whatever reason, the Docker image They don't exactly know what caused it, but the good thing is the Docker image reverse proxy trusted proxy, so the config line for that was set to true.
So
So
it
you
would
could just
just let anybody do anything.
yeah, let in like, it was set to you know what this means, but people don't.
Yeah.
It goes, uh, like where was the line I was just on? Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Reverse underscore proxy underscore trusted underscore proxies space equals space asterisk.
Which means accept them all.
Yeah,
Asterisk is
asterisk
everything.
is, like, everything and any amount.
Yeah, it's called a wild card, and it's a placeholder. So if you wanna say, like, let's say you're checking if something, equals 5, you could say, like, "Does this variable equal 5?" And you'll get back either a true or a false.
Yeah,
But if you say, "Does this variable equal asterisk?" it'll always come back with true because the asterisk means anything. Does this equal anything? It sure does.
which you can actually use that to do, like, ooh, okay, my cybersecurity is not like I've stopped studying it, so it's starting to go
Okay.
like
Already forgot it all? Good thing
think
you're
it's
certified.
I know, right? I think it's a SQLite.
Injection?
Yeah, an SQL injection.
Yep, yep.
So that's where, like, in a password prompt, you could put, like, 1 equals 1 or whatever, and then since it's
Well, so
true
what you do is you put in any password you would want,
yeah, and then you do
and then
or
and then you do a pipe or an or symbol,
yeah,
which and then yeah, so what you're saying is, "This is my password." But instead of just giving it the password, you're injecting additional code that the system will read. So the system is looking for you to provide text, and it's gonna receive your text, and unless the server is set up properly, it'll take your text and it'll read it all. But if you inject what is computer language code, after it sees your password, it'll say, "Oh, there's more code here, and I'll execute this too." And you put in an or. So what it's looking for when you just do a password is it'll take your password, it'll run it through a little math, and it'll say, "Does this thing this person sent me equal what I have saved?" And it comes back with a true or a false. If
yeah,
it's true, it says you put in the right password, you're let in. So it looks at your password, but before it checks your password, it says, "Oh, this person has other code for me to execute," because you put in an or thing, pass whatever the password is, or, and then you put in a mathematical equation like, does one equal one?
yep.
And what does a computer say if you say, "Does one equal one?"
True.
Computer's gonna say, "Yep, it does." So you're saying to the computer, either this password or if this math is 1 equals 1, and then it
Then
looks at it and goes, "1 equals 1 is true." So it lets you in like you put in the correct password, but all you really put in was a
yeah,
formula.
those ones are really cool.
Instant hack. So smart.
So are that's a really cool one. I always have liked how that one kinda works.
Yeah, it's very simple, and you'd be surprised how many websites are still not protected against
You'd
it.
be sup yeah, that and,
You still have to know
oh,
the username usually, though.
I don't know what the official term is for it, but it's like directory transfer have you ever seen those?
What do you mean by that?
So it's like directory transversal or something?
Oh, where, like, you can go straight to a page if you know the URL?
Kinda, yeah, so
Yeah.
but, like, what you can do sometimes is, like, when you enter in the password,
Mhm.
you can then put, like, cd this, if you know the like, the file path, and
Yeah.
it'll just take you straight to the file path,
Yeah.
so people will do that on, like, standard machines is getting to root.
Well, like, another thing you can do is, like, some websites are protected with a login, so you can't see the links. But if you know the link, you could bypass it by just
Yeah.
going straight to the link. If you some now websites should protect against that, but it can happen. Like, there's a lot of weird things like that.
There's lots of weird things like that. I don't know if you've ever had this, but you know those payables that pop up?
Oh, sure.
A lot of times you can just do, like, whatever the inspect key is.
F12?
Yeah.
Not that I would know.
F12, select it, delete it, or
Yeah, just remove it from the page.
you can do that, or you can just go in and turn off JavaScript.
Depending on if they use JavaScript for the paywall, but
Yeah,
it
but, like,
typically is.
90% of the
Yeah.
time it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and if that doesn't work I mean, but then you have the problem of, like, if you turn off JavaScript and forget to turn it back on, you're gonna have some weird browser stuff happen.
Yeah, because so many websites rely on it now,
It'll
you're not gonna be able to sign into your webmail or anything else. You have to it'd be nice if there's, like, a quick little kill switch that you could just
I mean, I'm sure somebody's made the macros for it.
yeah, there's probably a toolbar thing.
Do you what browser do you use? Firefox,
I don't
Chrome?
use Firefox.
Why?
The closest thing I use to Firefox is I use Tor browser,
Of
which is
course you
based
use
on
Tor browser.
Firefox,
Okay, but
but
Tor browser is like the dark web side of things
It's not
ish.
only for
It's
dark web.
not.
Come on
It's
now.
not.
Look,
Why do you need the 3 VPNs though?
half the time I use the Tor browser is because I wanna do product research, and I don't want that stuff following me.
That's fair.
Like, if my wife wants an LED a red LED face mask, which is a big thing that girls are wanting these days, apparently. I don't wanna
Like,
do the Google
oh, the red
research on
light?
yeah, the red light therapy masks.
Yeah.
I don't wanna do that. Like, I wanna see which one's worth buying. You know, these things are expensive and which
Did you
ones are
say your
worth it.
wife or your daughter?
Wife.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna buy one without doing a little research, and I don't want all that crap on my cookies. So I'm gonna do that in Tor.
That's fair.
You know? It's
But
not all about
do cookies get saved in incognito? I didn't think cookies did.
they don't get saved, but they're used in real time, and there's other ways that you can be exposed. Like, if I'm signed in to my email on the same browser in the same session, then there's still gonna be cross-pollination because the Google tab
Yeah.
can read the cookies that are open in another
Oh,
tab,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Google is storing that information even if the cookies are gone later. They already know that I've been browsing that,
Yeah.
so it still doesn't protect you.
Yeah.
Incognito, I mean, they
No,
lost a
that
lawsuit
no,
over
yeah, they
this.
lost. Well, because they said that nobody can see anything. Your ISP
They
still has
didn't say
everything.
that, it was
Okay.
implied. That was the
Yeah.
problem. They made people think, because I had a picture of, like, a detective or a spy
Yeah.
with a fedora and the sunglasses and the popped up trench coat collar, and it made people think, "Oh, that means I'm hidden on the internet." No, it did
Not even
not.
close.
All it means is that when you close the browser, the history of what you've done in that last session is no longer saved on your computer.
Not even because you can do
No, it
you can look
does.
at the DNS cache,
Well, maybe the DNS cache, but I
like,
think
in Windows.
that's supposed to be deleted on an incognito mode when you close the browser too, I
So
think.
your cache is, but Windows has a DNS cache for all
Oh,
outgoing
well,
stuff.
maybe,
So
yeah.
Windows DNS cache, you can just do that. You can do it on an iPhone too.
Well, maybe if you use, Edge, which is built into Windows, would it do a little better job on cleanup then?
I don't
In
know.
private
I know
browsing is what they call that?
yeah, I know Chrome was, like, a big thing.
Yeah.
You know my only discretion against Firefox when it comes to keybinds?
What?
Why is Control Shift P? Like, I get it, like, private browsing, but why is it
Yeah.
Control Shift P? Every other
Because
one is Control Shift N.
well, yeah, but Control P obviously not, because that's print.
Well, yeah, it's
So
well, why not Control Shift N? I think that's, like, new tab for them.
yeah, well, I think that it makes more sense because Control Shift N, new tab, Control Shift P,
And what about
private.
Control N?
Well, I guess Control N could also be new tab.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think, like, that's
yeah,
how it is in
yeah.
90% of browsers.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've also heard of, I know
So
Brave is a big
is that
browser.
your go-to browser?
Firefox?
Yeah.
That's mine for now.
No, really. I use Brave periodically. I like Brave because they are also pretty good with tracking. I've not used DuckDuckGo's browser,
So,
but it's pretty good, I've heard, for privacy.
DuckDuckGo well, so that's what I do is I use Firefox with DuckDuckGo
Yeah.
because
Well, that's
Firefox
the
yeah,
browser, not I mean, that's the website, not
yeah.
the browser.
That's
People
the
get that
search
confused with
engine,
Google all
yeah.
the time
It's the
too.
search engine.
Because 'Cause I've had people, tell me that they use Google as their browser.
And then it's Edge
They're
and
using Edge with Google as
yeah,
the page. It's just a search engine. People do not understand that those
yeah.
are 2 different things sometimes.
So, my browser is Firefox, or
Okay.
my actual app is Firefox, but then I use for the search engine, I use DuckDuckGo,
Yeah, okay.
which Mozilla still gets all my information because they have their own
Yeah,
stuff, but it's not as bad as the other ones. Also,
yeah,
I just like the look of Firefox.
yeah. But not gonna lie, I use Edge.
Edge is
I
pretty
use
good.
Chrome. I use them all. I don't use, Opera GX. That's a little too China for me.
Opera GX is
Or any Opera browser. I don't use Opera.
Opera GX specifically, like, don't get me wrong, I think it's hilarious. I think I've told you about
The
the
pipe clinking feature that people love to turn on.
wait, what?
You know, you can make it so everything you do in Opera GX has a pipe clanging sound effect. You
Horrible.
don't know about that?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's like a good thing to do as a prank for somebody
Do you
if
know
you
about
wanna
the
mess
Save My Soul feature?
I don't know if I know that one.
So, in the, like, history, you can toggle a setting that's Save My Soul. If you go 14 days without logging into your browser, it wipes everything and replaces it with AI generated history.
That's actually really cool. I actually like that. That's really cool.
It's called the Save My Soul or something.
Oh, can you change that down to 7?
Ah, sure, there's ways.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, don't want Annie being discovered.
Yeah, well, that's on my phone, so I don't know if Opera GX is gonna help me there.
Oh, Annie. But yeah, so there's also some Linux kernel bugs. There's one called Januscape.
See, this is one of the things that I always argue with your predecessor Axel
Okay,
about, because he was always like Linux is impenetrable. It's
it's
perfect. There's
not.
nothing ever wrong with
Okay,
it. And like this is another example. And we talked about this one of your first days on the show about how like we came within like a mouse hair
yeah,
away from Linux crashing across the globe because of a dependency.
yeah,
Like Linux is just as a vulnerability as any operating system. Not that
right.
it's a bad thing, but it's not the end all be all. So this is another
It
Linux
is.
thing, right?
Basically, that's just the one that I'm talking about is you can use it to escape a VM, so a
Oh,
virtual machine. Use it
okay.
to escape a virtual machine, get into the host.
Oh, which a lot of web interfaces, a lot of like work
Stuff
situations.
is done on a virtual
Yeah,
machine.
and actually you can also rent virtual machines from other third parties. Like if you just need to have a virtual
Yeah,
computer to do some processing for you remotely. So you could escape that onto their primary server
yeah,
with a Linux bug, a
yeah,
kernel bug. Oh, and if it's kernel level, that's huge.
yeah. Because
That's huge.
how I wonder how long it's been. Like I know that kernel gets updated all the time, but that
Sure.
when was that source code written? Like the 80s,
Yeah, I think actually it was early 90s. I
the early
think
90s,
Linus Torvalds, who is the official inventor of Linux, but
and GitHub,
well, so
kind of.
GitHub didn't exist yet.
No,
But this is kind of the predecessor to that. So if you look at the shorthand version, like the Reader's Digest version of where Linux came from, you're going to read that Linus Torvalds decided he wanted to take a Unix operating system and make it open source and free to the world, and that's kind of true. But he didn't do it alone. He
nah,
enlisted
yeah,
a lot of help. He was the brainchild of it. Like he put it together. He made it happen. He gets the credit. I think he deserves the credit, but it wasn't like a solo joint,
nah.
like a solo
There's
venture. He had people involved. Like this was a task, and it's since, of course, expanded well past him. I
yeah.
don't even know if he's involved with it at all. I don't even know if he's alive
He's
anymore.
not. He's alive. He's just
Is
not.
he? Okay.
He doesn't. He does more for Linux than he does for GitHub because he also made the
Oh.
GitHub thing, but then he like stepped away from it like
Right.
right
Well,
off
and
the
he
bat.
used a collaboration effort to create the Linux kernel, which I think was what inspired the creation of GitHub.
Yeah,
Yeah. But apparently both of those aren't very safe right now because both of them in this today's episode have been hacked.
I feel like Linux is in every episode with some type of a bug or hack though.
Well,
It,
that's why I was always kind of giving your predecessor a hard
so
time,
like,
you know?
I like Linux. I'm not gonna say it's impenetrable because it's definitely not.
Yeah.
But I do think it is a better operating system than Windows.
It depends on what aspect.
I'd even say security
In security, actually, I would have to agree reluctantly, but
because more is built for
but
Windows.
I'll tell you, Microsoft, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I can't say details, but I have a friend who works in some heavy security stuff at Microsoft. He won't tell me anything that gets him in trouble either. Like I'm not like in the know,
Yeah.
but I know that his dedication is high, and I know he travels for work a lot all around the globe, and I know that his hours are crazy because when there's a national threat or an international threat, he's one of the guys that they call in. Microsoft is not resting on their well, it's closed source and we've got this. Like those guys, they take data security
No,
seriously.
yeah,
They
definitely.
have a team and a level of effort that they do to keep the internet secure beyond just their platform that I think most people would never believe. And unfortunately, I don't even know the extent of it. I only know enough to know that there's more that I don't know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I've picked up enough from just what I can find out that's publicly available. They are way underappreciated.
No, I know they have a good because they've been the main operating system for like 30 years
Oh
now.
yeah,
So I mean, you got to have some pretty good security.
maybe even 40 years
No,
now.
I will
Well, not
say
30.
Linux is probably better on security because less is made for it.
Well, and there's more open source access, so there's more like hobbyists and people that can do the patches and catch these things. I mean,
Yeah.
so we talked about that 0-day threat that almost took down the internet, and it was literally like a day away from being implemented. Like
Yeah.
it was right there. But to the credit of the system and the way it works, it did get caught because of the open source community was able to figure out that something was fishy.
Yeah.
And closed source systems, if it wasn't an insider employee who noticed it, it wouldn't have been noticed. But I don't think an insider would have been able to pull off that kind of threat that happened to Linux. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I
apples and
don't
oranges.
I don't know. I think Linux is super cool because it's lightweight usually, it runs on almost anything. You can
Oh yeah, older hardware, and that's one of the reasons why we still use it at
yeah.
AZ Strut because we can get older computers that no longer are going to be working with Windows. You throw Linux on that bad boy, and you give it to a student, and they could do everything they need to. It'll run smooth. It'll run secure. It is good. I'm not
If
hating
no,
on
yeah.
Linux in general.
If you get used to Linux, super great because there's almost any tool you use on Windows, there's a free alternative.
Yeah, but it's
But
an alternative, and if you have some make or break stuff, like I have to use this platform or I have to
I
use this
trust
thing.
KDE Office or something, honestly, over
Well,
not over,
well,
but
I mean, I've told you before, I also am an adjunct professor
mm,
at a university, and so I have lessons on how to use specifically Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel.
yeah.
It's not Google Office. It's not Sheets. It's not Open
Well,
Office
they
or
know the de
LibreOffice.
facto standard, that's
Right.
probably part of it,
Right, and I'm teaching people what they're gonna use in the workplace most likely, which
which
is
is
those.
Office.
And when I was trying to do a 30-day Linux, cleanse experiment,
Yeah.
it failed fantastically. I tried to only use Linux, and I mean, I had so many bugs, so many issues, so many
With what?
problems, everything. I tried to make images using a flash drive, for imaging other computers.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that's a big one.
that was not easy to do on a
Yeah.
Linux machine, which it should have been so easy because I go on a Windows machine, I make a Linux recovery installed flash drive in minutes, and I could do it over and over. But when you're on a Linux machine trying to do it, it's a
Yeah,
bear.
because I don't think there's like, Rufus doesn't work on there, right?
I don't think Etcher worked
I
on
don't
there
think
either. I
Etcher
had to find some all sorts of weird
I
workarounds that none of them worked very well. It was a
I
disaster.
think you might be able to do it natively on some
Yeah.
OSs that using but it's, like, all command line,
Yeah.
like Diskpart, for example. Like, I'm sure
Mhm.
on Fedora there is a way to do it through the GUI, but it's almost always better to just
Yeah.
do a secure wipe through the command line.
Right, but that's and you have to always Google the command
Yeah.
lines because there's only so many command lines you're gonna remember if you don't do it every day.
Yeah.
It's just you can't. And I tried, I do a lot of video editing and audio video editing.
Oh, yeah, nah.
There's not any really good solutions
GIMP?
for their Linux either. GIMP is just, photograph editing. It doesn't do video and audio.
No, you could use GIMP.
Audacity, I
I was gonna
think,
say
is on Linux, but that
Audacity,
doesn't do video, that does audio.
and then does VLC do au
VLC is a
there's
player.
DaVinci.
DaVinci Resolve?
I think
Is that
DaVinci's
available on
on Linux.
Linux?
I
I
think
think it's
so.
only Mac and Windows.
Is it?
Mhm.
I
Made by
know there was
Blackmagic.
I
Yeah.
know there was one other one that I used
But
once,
see, this
but
is
it
my
was
point,
like
right? Like
yeah,
this is it's and then you have to learn a whole new platform. And it's just it's a if you want a web server or if you want like the internet runs on Linux, like I get that. If you're a basic user that most everything you do is on a web interface like a Google
Linux is
Chrome,
fine.
then yeah, you're fine. In fact, one of the things I also like volunteer my time for church IT services. I do a lot of church tech services just for free, right? And some of the computers that the leadership uses at the church buildings, they used to use Windows. And just last month, they sent me Chromebooks to replace
Okay,
them in all of the church units.
that's a problem.
And I thought initially, I'm like, "Oh gosh, no." And I mean, I preach that we should be open-minded to, new operating systems, and I do send out a lot of Linux machines, and I send out Chromebooks too.
Yeah,
But I'm like, "This is for like a clerk type of environment." We're doing printing, we're doing accounting, we're doing records.
you might be able to get away with
Well,
it.
you know what? I kinda ate my own I didn't say anything. I just thought to myself, "Well, I don't know." And the biggest thing is I thought the pushback from the users.
Yeah,
That
'cause
was actually my biggest concern because
was
I've
it?
seen that. Actually, no. It's been about 3 weeks now. The only major issue I've had from one congregation was that they had a printer with a scanner, and
The scanner.
and they're having trouble figuring out how to get the scanned documents through the Chromebook to work. So that's a
Yeah,
legitimate concern. I haven't figured that one out yet 'cause
that's a driver probably that's
right, and
not made.
driver support's an issue with Chromebooks. So I haven't even looked into the problem yet. It might be a quick solution. I don't know. I have to look into it. But, like, other than that, I think the learning curve was next to nothing. The
Yeah,
the swap over was so easy. The security is great because it's managed by the church headquarters centrally. And it every time they sign out, it wipes everything. It's like incognito mode for the whole operating system, not just the browser.
That's good.
It's and actually, I kind of ate my words in a way on that. I'm like, this is actually kind of
It works, it
yeah.
works.
Now I wouldn't use it for myself for what I do at home, but like it
Yeah.
totally made sense. And I'm like, you know what? Save a few bucks, get a Chromebook. It does what you need for that. Everything they do is on the web interface now anyway.
Yeah, I wanna get one of those Spark laptops. That's that's
Yeah.
where I'm at. I wanna get one so bad when they come out.
I got a framework laptop. Those are really
Did you
cool.
really?
Yeah. And those are good for Linux, but I ended up putting Windows on it
I was
because
gonna say.
I tried that was actually the computer I used when I tried my Linux cleanse, was a framework, which is if you don't know, it's the one that Linus Tech Tips guy, Linus, was is a key investor in that.
Yeah.
But he didn't it's not his. He just was a very, very
I Linux
public
support,
investor.
I've seen for those, Linux support is good, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
also like,
They come
eh.
they come made for Linux. They'll
It's like
even
Ubuntu, right?
they have 2. They recommend Fedora or Ubuntu.
Okay.
They have 2 different platforms, and they if you go to their FAQ page, they'll tell you which ones. But the framework is cool because it's like
You can swap
almost like
anything
a
out.
Lego of
Yeah.
of laptops. Yeah, you can swap out even the USB ports. You can swap out a USB-A card for a USB-C card
I've
or
heard they
a
feel cheap though,
they'd feel a little
like
cheap,
flimsy, but that's also because you can take it apart.
and it makes them lightweight.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It has a fingerprint reader, it has a replaceable screen. The one I got had a broken screen. I replaced it, and actually I had a student do it because I wanted to make it a learning experience. Student did it in 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Easy. Didn't break a thing.
Not bad.
You can swap out all the components. You wanna upgrade the motherboard, you wanna upgrade the CPU, you wanna upgrade the graphics card, you wanna change out what ports are available on the laptop. You can't do that with any other laptop.
Yeah, no.
Like, kudos to Framework. You wanna swap out a battery on a lot of laptops these days, like a MacBook Pro, you can do it, sure, but it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
On this thing, 5 minutes and a torque screwdriver and you're done.
Okay.
And I should be getting a check for this. I'm not getting
Should. You are
paid by
advertising right now.
Come on, Framework, send me a bone here. I kept the laptop, I just don't use it for Linux anymore. It's a good laptop.
I bet it is. It is a 13-inch?
No, it's the smaller one.
I
The
think that is a
11
thir
is it
is it?
11? Is it 11 and 13, or is it 13 and 15?
I thought it was 13,
Then
15,
I
and
have the fifth I
they
have
have
the
a
13.
16 too.
Well, I have the smaller.
I think it's 13
It's
then.
not small. I mean, one thing is weird about it though, and the reason why I'm like, is it?
I've heard the
Because
screens are weird.
it's a 4:3 aspect
Yeah.
ratio. It's the more rectangular style that old school TVs used to be. It's
Yeah, I've
not
heard they're those,
letterboxed,
yeah.
which is weird. It's an odd choice, and you can't change that because the frame itself is not
Yeah. Like
totally
yeah.
swappable. So, like, that is the dimensions. You are not changing it,
Yeah.
but it's okay. It doesn't bother me once you get used to it. It's
Okay.
it's interesting. I mean, Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League looks good on it
4 by 3?
because he made that in
Yeah.
4:3 quite legendarily, right?
Yeah.
When I first downloaded that movie, I'm like, "Which jerk uploaded the 4:3 version of this movie?" And then I did a little research, and I'm like,
It was the
"Oh,
jerk who shot it.
it was meant that way." Okay. I'm done. Anyway, I'm also done too. Are we
Yeah.
done? I feel like we
We
need
went past the mark by quite a bit.
Oh, I was funny because we've been told by editor, shut up. Like you got to wrap it up faster. And I'm like, oh, I was joking, teasing to like, oh, we'll go long. I was screwing around. I didn't realize we actually went long.
Yeah,
Good
we
luck.
went almost a half hour over.
Yeah, well, it's your fault for letting me talk about interesting things.
This is not true.
That's true. You don't let me. I just make myself do it anyway.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, thanks you for joining us for another exciting edition of the iTech Show. I'm Jared Bodine.
I'm Asher Ridenour.
And we'd like to thank AZ Strut for underwriting and helping make this show a reality. And of course, thank you to 88.7 The Pulse, the student-run radio station that we work in collaboration with. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.